Now that everyone's getting hyped and curious about the upcoming characters of the Luna patch, let's dissect all of the information, speculations, and expectations we have regarding them through this video. Let's start from the confirmed information that's been verified in-game. For now, we are already aware that this is Varka and the lady next to him is Nicole. As for the others, we all know that Hoya loves foreshadowing future playable characters by adding small details about them in-game prior to their own release. For example, a character named Lohan earned a special mention in one of Varka's dialogues during the Luna 3 Arkham quest. If we go to Speranza, we can also meet 3 NPCs talking about this same character. And the same goes for Mika, who told us interesting stuff about Lohan during the recent Dragonspine event. To sum up what we gained from those mentioned so far, Lohan is the vice captain of the 5th company that was sent back to Mondstadt for respite in a different mission after the issue with the Wild Hunt has been settled. Varka claims that Lohan is tougher than him, while Mika claims that Lohan loves going wherever the fighting is thickest. Since this guy over here is literally the only man other than Varka among these silhouettes, we can assume that he is Lohan. Next, let's talk about a character named Linnea. Based on Ino and Ennifa's voice lines, it seems like Linnea works as an advisor for the Adventurers Guild, which is the most likely reason for her frequent trips. She has extensive knowledge in life sciences, and Ino would repeatedly challenge herself into making the perfect robot for Linnea, believing she wouldn't accept any of her work since none of them matched her style. If we're going to match these traits with one of the figures in the character preview, I suspect that this medium female model is Linnea. I mean, if you look very closely, she has the perfect backpack for her trips, and the creature next to her seems to bear some sort of connection to life sciences, which she is knowledgeable about. Otherwise, it could also be a robot Ino gifted to her personally, but I'll leave that to your own imagination. To be honest, we already got ourselves a leaked image of Linnea from an event in Luna 1, and if you compare that image to what we have right now from side to side, it seems safe enough to assume that she really is Linnea. From this point on, we're heading to a speculative discussion, so keep in mind that the final product may heavily differ from what I'm about to say. But before we proceed, have you talked to Amber this Dragonspine event? If you haven't, then you're missing out on the fact that Amber got herself an excellent little helper named Gretel. Gretel is an apprentice knight presently training for the enhancement of her outrider skills under Amber's instruction. This is the only information revealed about her so far, so it's hard to determine whether she will really be a relevant character to the game at the moment. Though sus leaks recently suggest that this character over here is the same Gretel we talked about just now. If you look at her from that perspective, this tie could be intentionally designed to look a bit similar to Amber's ribbon, while her outfit low-key seems to match with Collie's design, which is pretty suspicious considering Amber and Collie's connection. But without official confirmation, this could turn out to be a totally different character anytime, so we can't deny the possibility that she could be the rumored Snow Maiden, Sniegarachka instead. Though I personally beg to differ and claim that this is the real Snow Maiden. Speaking of Sniegarachka, there's been a sus leak going around that she's still included in the playable character roster for the Nod-Krai patch, although she didn't appear in the silhouettes. Since the character count for every region typically reaches 17, you can expect 2 more unrevealed characters, just like how Ennifa's situation went during the Level 1 patch. This one phrase from Hyde's official post pretty much confirms that, so Alice Wonders out there can still hope that she will be playable soon. Now, I want you to look back on this one statement from Columina coming from one of the first Nod-Krai trailers.
In the water, the future mirrors the past.
This is actually Major Him pointing at the identity of this particular shadow that we can only see through the water's surface. But before I elaborate, allow me to warn you with a spoiler alert, since this reasoning will involve events that may happen this coming Luna 4 Arkham quest. So if you don't want to get spoiled, I suggest skipping through this section until we move back into this image. Okay, so current rumors has it that Sandrone will end up sacrificing herself in the process of defeating the Tor this coming update. There are multiple signs that this will be realized, starting from the topic we had about sacrifice with Sandrone during the Moon Prayer Night Festival. From the scene, we can also see a defeated Polonia, forcing a Sandrone to fight the Tor personally in the following few seconds. And as if that wasn't enough, this official art seems to lend a certain degree of focus to Sandrone, suggesting she will play some sort of major role in the quest. If Sandrone truly dies on us, then there's a chance that she will be reborn just as the questionable leaks say. But sadly, it seems like this playable version of Sandrone uses a different model design, element, and personality. Think of it like how Hoya fixed Scaramouche into the Wanderer we know right now, but with a Farina Fossilor's twist to the character. My guess is that the current Sandrone isn't even the main body, or she has a duplicate backup of herself, which is probably why she doesn't have much regard of her life. I mean, we already saw how she handled battles when we were dealing with the rear. She would use data she gathered from actual combat, and upon defeat, she would improve her robots to become stronger than her enemies. Going back to the main point, Hoya must have thought that adding the syllabus of the new model might become a major spoiler for her sacrificing her birth. Otherwise, what's the point of hiding it from us when you could have just excluded it from the preview like how they did with Innifa in the first place? So with those factors in mind, I believe this one right here will be Sandrone. Enough of that, and let's move on to what you can expect from these characters. There are two patterns I can see from this image. Pattern 1 is the rarity. If you look at the Netland preview, characters on the left are all confirmed 4 stars, while characters starting from Skirk up to the very end of the right side are all confirmed 5 stars. After leaks dropped about Lohan being a 5-star character, in addition to Gretel and Linnea being 4-star characters, I discovered this kind of pattern for their respective rarities. 5 stars on the left side while 4 stars on the right side. But then, if we assume that this is Sandrone, it would make sense if she was a 4-star unless her reborn version is a downgrade of her previous self. So another pattern I came up with is that this could be following the character's version of release. For example, Lohan over here is already rumored to run in the same version as Varka, which is at Luna 5. Meanwhile, Nicole has been leaked to release in a following version or two. To add up, certain panels seem to form specific pairings that will and might come in the same version, such as Lohan with Varka and Nicole with Gretel. Gretel running with Our Lady Witch in particular would be a rather interesting sight to see, considering how her name could be referenced from a female child's name in a fairy tale called Hansel and Gretel. And as you might already know, a witch also appears in this story. So with this connection in mind, Gretel will possibly become a character with Hex and Zirkel synergy. Since we've already begun talking about one character, let's ride this flow and discover the specific expectations we can have for the other characters as well. Let's go back to Lohan. Current leaks point at Lohan being a standard banner cryo character. Mika mentioned that in the 5th company Lohan is part of, they primarily use bows, but as technology has advanced, they've begun equipping themselves with other forms of ranged weaponry. In actual gameplay, the closest we can get to this is a bow, but there are also chances that Lohan will use a sword or a pole arm similar to how Chlorine and Chevreuse's situation went. With Hex and Zirkel synergy becoming more relevant as the patches progress, there's a small possibility that he could also have his own Witch's Homework passive. Next, let's talk about Varka. We already know that Varka is a 5-star animal character, and based on his silhouette from the preview, it seems like he will be dual-wielding claymores. Current reliable leaks point at him being a DPS with a passive that bursts a lot like Skirk, where your team composition matters. The key difference this time is that you'll only need one animal aside from Varka in the team, and the remaining 2 can be any Pyro, Hydro, Electro, or Cryo character of the same element. Word has it that Varka's elemental skill also has its own enhanced variant. Using his elemental skill will enable his normal attacks to reduce the cooldown of his enhanced elemental skill by half a second. His Witch's Homework passive functions to increase this cooldown reduction by another half a second, which totals to 1 second cooldown reduction per normal attack if there are 2 Hex and Zirkel characters in your party. It seems like this will work very similarly to Cyno's gameplay, but with the burst reliant part removed. By this principle, I'm guessing he will only bring out his other claymore upon unleashing this enhanced attack. And I suspect that this same E variant has its fair chances of being infused with his world element too. Now, let's talk about Nicole. Since early Nod-Krai patches, Nicole has been rumored to be a support character, and some even speculate that she'll be a 5-star Bennett based on this particular scene from the Luna 4 trailer. If Varka's leak kit is proven true, she might really assume that role in the party, paired with Durin is the best in slot for Varka's team. As much as I would love to welcome her as a support, I would also be just as disappointed because, I mean, who wouldn't want to play her on field now that it's shown as this? So let's keep our minds open for the potential that she could function as an on-fielder in the future and move on to Gretel. Gretel is just an apprentice knight for now, so it's very likely that she is indeed a 4-star character. As I said earlier, there is a high chance that she is a Hexing Circle character too. You can expect her moveset to look a lot like Amber's, just like how Durin's normal attacks are heavily aligned to Albedo and Wonder's moveset. If she ends up running in the same manner as Nicole, her element or kit might have some sort of synergy with her. Next up is Linnea. Suspicious rumors are going around that Linnea is a Dendro character. Since she hails from Nod-Krai, you can expect her to increase your moonset level by 1 if she's in the party. But if it's true that she's a 4-star character, learn your lesson and don't expect much about being able to trigger lunar reactions with Linnea independently. We already had enough with what happened to Aino and Yehoda after all. Now, on the premise that her element is truly Dendro, she has 4 possible routes she can head to when the story comes to her kit. 1. She can be an asset for Nefertines, but I honestly doubt that since you'd want at least a single non-lunar character in her party to get the additional buffs. 2. She might have some sort of synergy with Sandrone solely from the fact that they are technically connected with one another through the Adventurers Guild. 3. If she runs with Smurochka, who is suspected to be a Krya character, she might finally bring the Rhymegrass mechanic in the open world with her. The worst route is 4, where she might become just another filler character with a not so good but acceptable kit. I suppose that's all I can make out from Linnea for now. Lastly, let's talk about Sandrone. Sus leaks about the playable Sandrone point at her element being Electro instead of Jade. She's rumored to pair with Smurochka, making full use of the super combat mechanic and possibly reviving the physical meta. To be honest, I can totally picture her being physical after seeing this scene. I was hoping that her gameplay would include Bologna assisting her in the field, but I don't know. I don't really want to be disappointed, so I won't expect much in her part. Since many sources claim that she'll arrive only by the end of the Nod-Krai patches, she might not become part of the lunar synergy, so don't assume that she can trigger lunar reactions for now. I guess that's all I can say about the characters revealed in this picture. I hope this video was informative to you, and if your time permits it, please drop by the comment section and share who you're looking forward to the most in future updates. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.